feel a lot of Westerners struggle with emptiness as a concept, partly potentially because you can't understand it as a concept. But for those looking to try, how would you describe it?
Mm. I think like always coming from experience, like that's always the way into the deeper philosophical understanding. So we're having a shower, not together. You're having a shower in your own house, and so you have ideas come up. You know, you're finally not on the technology. You have these insights, and then you're rushing out to go take some notes because you had these moments of insight. You're walking in nature with the dog. You have these moments of insight. So this emptiness, like when we're not filling our mind, then it creates the spaciousness, another key word, spaciousness, for then that intuitive insight to come up. So to protect, firstly, protect that space, to carve out that space every day, which is why a daily meditation practice is so life-changing, because you can really then begin to train your heart and mind to firstly enjoy being in that space. And then secondly, what can come out creatively. It's not just be empty, do nothing. Not that we are seeking to do something from that space, but if it does come out, then yeah, like for me, all of my films have at least been created, if not improved, from my meditation practice. Because I can get to this beautiful space where I'm not seeking it, but then eventually, I am visualizing, yeah, like my whole film. Like I was in a 10-day silent meditation retreat, and yeah, my recent one, I had a whole, yeah, like a 2 hour show that I'm going to do. Like I've been doing ecstatic Tai Chi and sharing philosophy on, yeah, did a, for my film, did like a 200-person movie theater event. And I was just visualizing spontaneously this whole thing come through. And it's just a really deep and beautiful experience. If I was craving after that, if I was seeking that with the rational mind, I would have blocked that spaciousness. So that can be kind of more like to help, maybe I'm guessing from this audience of people want to do stuff, you're enjoying science, you're enjoying self-growth and learning, and like that is me, that still is me. And I really would invite our viewers and listeners to consider really carving out more space, because I have found it really powerful. One more thing is just then the connection that can come from that. So this is when I get more spiritual. Yeah, so what is spirituality for me? It's my understanding of something bigger than myself, and the extent to which that understanding is a resource that can support me. So it's the understanding and the resourcing, coming back into connection with the source of life. So in emptiness, as I'm present with my lived experience, this breath, this body, this moment, this planet, then I come into relationship with the mystery that is inherent to our being. And when I do that, I begin to dissolve and shed this separate George story of like me being alone facing this big dangerous world outside of me, and then actually begin to transform my identity to realizing that I'm an aspect of this whole, this great interdependent unfolding.
I think it's very similar actually that there is, because it points to there being no a sort of independent existence. And I think even fairly well established now, the default mode network can be shut off, which leads to this no separation between the doing and the doer,
Mm.
or that sort of selfhood collapses, and then we feel spontaneously feel connection with the world and everything beyond that. So is that the same? Would you say there is no independent existence? It's pointing to no independent existence and emptiness of that as well.
Mm. Yeah, I could give you the origin story of the universe for the Taoists, if you'd be interested in that.
Definitely.
So this is chapter 47 of the Tao Te Ching. I need to confirm that. So the Tao Te Ching is the foundational text of Taoism. So it's the kind of core, stunning piece of philosophy. It's 81 chapters. Each chapter is very short, only a page, and yeah, it's very timeless, deep wisdom. So the Tao of Taoism means the way or the path, and it can mean the ways of nature, so the ways of the universe, or it could be the ways of Josh, the ways of Fit Mind, the ways of our beautiful viewers and listeners, the way of knitting, the ways of carrots. Everything has its own Tao. And so when we understand the Tao, we can harmonize with it. So that's the general, like the observation, the scientific technique that we've talked about, observation, understand the way. So the origin story of the universe from the Tao Te Ching is the Tao gives birth to one, one gives birth to two, two gives birth to three, and the three gives birth to the 10,000 things. So the Tao gives birth to one. So that, like the emptiness that we've been talking about, in their view, there had to be nothing before something, and that nothing, like the physical nothing, had to hold the potential for the material world. And so the Tao is this potentiality, and this is, the mystery, even for the scientific story of the universe, of the great, the Big Bang, is like, well, what set it off? And if we live in this deterministic universe, then you need the first cause. And a religious person would say, well, God set the whole thing off, who's the causeless cause. Like God can start off without anything else. But the problem with that is that, well, if God can start without a cause, then why can't the universe start without a cause? Can that be spontaneous as well? So the Taoists have a organismic understanding of the universe, where they see it as a spontaneous unfolding, but they still see like that potential of the emptiness before form as the Tao. That's the word that they put in it. So Tao gives birth to one, one gives birth to two. So from form and material beginning to form in the universe, then differentiation is formed. So yin and yang, light and dark, being and non-being, contrast. Two gives birth to three, so yin and yang interact. So mother and a father give birth to a child. Two gives birth to three, three gives birth to the 10,000 things. From there, then we have all this multiplicity and duality and abundance. But they can still bring it back to the fundamental unity of life, the apparent duality, the separation between life and death. There's an apparent duality, but there could be no life without death, could be no death without life. All of it in this great interconnected flowing web. So certainly, similar to ideas of Buddhism, which are generally, more popular in today's zeitgeist, the Taoists see it in the same way: spontaneous unfolding, interconnection.
Yeah, the emptiness and what you just beautifully described. I feel like it is really a relief that, okay,
Mm,
this brain can't really understand what is happening. Even my best
mm,
prediction about George, it's not a real prediction. I can't understand his gut health, his past
mm,
experience, why he's doing what he's doing. And in many ways, that does just bring us back down into the body and into this more relaxed and open state. Okay, I cannot fully understand what you're thinking or what I think you're thinking. And therefore, I don't need to. And often what that leads to is just more connection, more openness, more spontaneity.